In the last section, we outlined what comes packaged with the Cloud9 IDE. Right now, we're just going to focus on the terminal. And in this video, we're going to talk about how we use the terminal in our development workflow. Now, if you don't remember, the terminal is this guy down here that I just typed into. And it is a super important part of building any application. When I present this lesson to students, I always give them a bit of history first. It's important to provide the context so that they actually kind of understand why we're doing the things we do. So I'm going to pull up my slides from my first class. And in there, I have a picture of an old computer down here. Now, when I show this to my students, they love to laugh at how the design, this version barely even resembles the sleek, modern computers that they're used to. They love to laugh at the little radio dials on the right and the floppy drives on this computer here. There's something missing from this computer. There's a lot of differences, but something in particular that I want to see if you can point out really quickly. If you guessed it, there's no mouse on either of these computers, just a keyboard. The floppy disk and keyboard are displayed prominently. We have a screen, but there's no mouse. Nowadays, we communicate with our computers by using a mouse to click on different things, and we expect a response. This is using what's known as a GUI, or Graphical User Interface. GUI, G-U-I, which stands for Graphical User Interface. A graphical user interface is really great for things that already exist on our computer. But humans really haven't figured out a great way to create new things on the computer just by clicking around. Typing is the prerequisite way to get that done. And back in the day, developers had to use the keyboard to tell the computer anything. Mouse interaction wasn't an option. So the terminal was the primary means of communicating with the computer. Today, the terminal is still a very, very powerful tool, and we'll use it all the time. In Cloud9, this is actually a virtual computer. Since we don't have access to any of the computer's internals, we're going to use the terminal to communicate with our computer and get things done. One of the first commands I'm going to teach you is the one that we're going to use to create any new file. And this has actually a really funny name, but it's something you get used to after a while. If you want to create a new file inside your IDE, all you need to do is type in the command touch, touch. I think of it like the touch of God, that you can create things with your mind, and then you give it a name. So in this case, I'm going to say notes.txt. That stands for text. The name of the extension after the period is actually really important for syntax highlighting and how the file gets run. So once I hit enter, I see that in my file tree immediately is updated with a notes.txt file. If you double click on that notes.txt file, it will open it up inside your text editor. Now we have a file that we can take notes on and talk through a little bit of what the terminal does. So I'm going to type my first notes in. The first lines of, we'll say, code, and I say only code because it won't be actual code. It'll just be notes. It'll be written in our text editor, so it'll feel awesome. The first thing we're going to do is remind ourselves of some terminal commands. The first one, which we just went over, is touch. Touch, and then let's say new file name. And the name of the file will go inside those little triangle brackets. And this will create a new file with the selected file name. Great. Now you'll notice that as soon as I edit the file in the text editor, a little circle will appear here next to the file's name. That indicates that it is not currently saved. And we can save it by coming here and clicking File, Save, or just using the hotkey Control-S. I'm going to click Save for now, and we will go through a few of the next commands in the next video. See you there.